Waiting all day for Sunday night.
Hello,
No copyright infringement here, guys.
everybody, and welcome back to the Coconut Curry podcast. We are a group of college guys at the University of Pittsburgh. We talk about sports. If you like what you see, please like, comment, subscribe. We do episodes every week. Right now, we're covering the NFL football season. We'll be covering baseball in a little bit. But we're just going to get right into NFL Week 3. We are recording this at 6:48 on Sunday, so the 4 o'clock games are wrapping up. So we'll be talking about the Sunday night games Monday. You'll have the advantage of seeing if what we said is right or wrong. But NFL Week 3, especially the 1 o'clock games, was on crack or something. It was an absolute, everywhere you looked, something like weird was going on.
Yeah. So, Raj, can you actually pull up all of the scores from this past slate? Because just kind of jump around a lot. We had the Dolphins putting up 70 points in the NFL, which is unheard of.
Yep.
They won by 50. Then we had
Sean Payton back into retirement.
Yeah, Sean Payton might actually go back to retirement now. We had the Vikings and the Chargers try to hold the title of game that nobody wanted to win, which was then overtaken by the Ravens and Colts, which nobody again wanted to win that game.
And then Sam Howell threw 4 interceptions to lose that Bills game.
Listen, one bad game. Sam Howell is still the truth.
And then the Saints were up 17 points in the fourth quarter and lost the football game.
Oh, that's because Derek Carr got hurt.
Well, no, that's not even because that
You
doesn't
can't
excuse a defense, though.
You're right.
And you can't say that Jameis Winston
Yes.
is worth getting 0 points in the time that he was there's no.
You could have kicked a field goal.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You could have. I mean, they missed a field goal at one point, and that's why they lost the game. But a lot to talk about, and we're going to start off with Thursday Night Football and what was probably the most predictable game of the entire week, which was just the Giants just getting outclassed by the 49ers.
Yeah. It honestly, that game, I feel like the Giants fought. Their Giants defense actually looked way better at first than I thought they were. I was very, very surprised with that because after they've been getting steamrolled by practically every team in the run game, they were fairly good at slowing down Christian McCaffrey for the first half.
I felt like they were just they put so much energy into that first half of that football game.
It was almost the opposite of the Cardinals game,
Yeah.
where they were fighting really, really hard defensively in that first half, and then the second half it was they were just out on the field the entire time.
You just can't.
Yeah, that. Honestly, the fight there was clearly there. The Giants' offensive line has been bad for the past 10 years, and nothing has changed.
Yep.
We had Saquon Barkley out. We had Andrew Thomas out. We had a couple of other injuries across the board. It was just, I knew this was basically kind of just one of those games in Madden where you just bench everybody and you're look, we're going to lose this game, but I don't really care at this point. We knew we were going to lose that game. Honestly, probably could have had a better shot at it if Barkley and Thomas were in, but we still were going to lose anyway. They had a lot more fight. And there was actually some pretty good comments from Daniel Jones after the game, actually, because there was a lot of criticism about how Jalen Hyatt didn't really get any targets that game, which was really surprising because he's a very good football player. And Daniel Jones basically just came out and called out coaching and was we didn't have the plays set up for him.
Yeah,
it's bad when we have a playmaker like that and we're not throwing it to him. Because I mean, Daniel Jones has to be one of the most unlucky players on the planet, where 3 of his 4 interceptions have been tipped.
Yeah.
And of course, that was the criticism for Dak last year.
Bears are on the board.
All right, Bears are no longer getting blown out. We'll get to that.
Wait, 3 or 7?
Field goal.
3.
Oh, okay.
38.
Yeah. So, currently, I need the Chiefs to really try to cover here to try to make sure that we forget about the Giants' first game.
Yeah.
But of course, the Miami Dolphins also helped out with that. So, but yeah, just fine game with the Giants. They're bad. I mean, what else was new with the Giants?
What I've taken from this game, and I've kept waiting to say it, but I think now is the official time. Brock Purdy's a top quarterback in the league right now, and this whole he was drafted late, maybe he'll flunder at some point. I feel like it's over now. He's playing a top 10 quarterback, and you've got to start.
I think it's very clear that it's he's not and I'm gonna say this, and people are gonna freak out. He's like a Tom Brady.
Huh?
He's not the most talented.
Peter's on the you're on the podcast right now saying Brock Purdy is the next
Tom Brady. No, he's not the most talented. He's not the most he doesn't have the best arm. He doesn't have the best accuracy. He doesn't have the best this, but he just wins. He just does what he needs to do and wins. And when you have a great offense with great weapons, that's what you need to do. And a lot of players can't execute like that. Like there's plenty of quarterbacks that we've seen, like Josh Allen, with an incredibly high ceiling, but then will just do random crap and get the other team back into the game.
Press Y button.
Yeah.
B.
Spamming it. Yeah, exactly. But like I think you are not far off with that take. I think Brock Purdy is absolutely a quarterback that needs to be being talked about.
And I'm not saying when it comes to playoff time that we can't be like, he hasn't been in the spot before. We've seen other quarterbacks that are more dynamic, but in terms of like people projecting out where the 49ers can go, it's not their quarterback that's going to hold him back at this right now.
If anything, it's going to be injuries.
Yeah, Brock Purdy has not lost a football game.
No, a regular season football game.
He didn't lose the postseason game either.
I guess technically he didn't finish.
Hurt so early.
Yeah.
So like nothing was like he's perfect since he's been playing in the NFL, and it's a good team, but also like he's not been the reason.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my biggest takeaway from Thursday night. Do you have any takeaways from the Thursday night football game?
The
do
Giants.
You remember the game?
I remember the game.
Okay.
The Giants, they put up a fight. It was respectable.
It was respectable during the first half into the third, I'd say.
Then after that,
it was just like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But nothing really much. We all knew the results of that game.
Yeah. That game was not a great game, and another great game that was not around was the 1:00 game between the Falcons and Lions, because that was a horrible game.
Mid-off.
Falcons 6, Lions 20.
It was just bad.
Guess how many rushing yards Atlanta had?
50.
44 rushing yards.
Good job. That's pretty close.
That is for a team that prides himself on the run.
Was Bijan injured?
No.
Why wasn't he playing?
He played.
You're just bad?
33 yards,
They kept
37.
splitting carries with him and Algier the whole time, and they figured
They
it
just
out.
didn't rush the ball at all. They got no points, no offense. This is after my reaction last week, or my overreaction for the week. If you're interested, you can go check them out. Was that maybe the Falcons
Atlanta's
are really good.
They're going to be so good. They just get punched in the mouth next week.
But so the Falcons might not be that good. Laporta is really good.
Yeah.
He's been balling since he got.
Who would have guessed the Iowa tight end
Yeah.
is good?
So he's been really good for the Lions, and
Yeah.
we talked about it a little bit last week. It just makes that Hawkinson
Yeah, he just
trade look
so much better. Because if they got an additional pick and just picked up TJ Hawkinson too, it's like,
Yeah,
well, I guess it didn't really matter.
and he's just really good. Like,
Yeah.
immediately. So not much to say about that. I'll be curious to see how the Falcons bounce back, because maybe like they just had a hot first 2 games of the season.
Yeah,
or maybe
they're
this
going
is
to
just
kind
like
of taper off.
a little bit of a fluke, but
Mhm.
very boring. A non-boring game that both teams try to lose. Chargers Vikings. I just it doesn't make any sense how both teams just consistently did things. to
Sorry,
lose.
Cardinals just got a big play against the Cowboys. Continue.
Yeah, let's go. Chargers and Vikings just always just try to lose the game.
They
whole time.
both are some of the teams that, like, obviously Atlanta is like known for its choke jobs, but like Vikings are a very underrated choke job team along with the Chargers.
yeah.
Like they both find ways to lose that game, and oh my god, it showed. Like it was the fourth quarter, and I don't think I've ever seen a more like unlucky play that describes a team that just cannot figure out how to win than Justin Herbert throwing up a bomb, but it's just slightly underthrown, and the defender makes a great play, diving interception. It tips through his hands directly to the Chargers player, who falls into the end zone and scores a touchdown to go up 28-24. How does that happen?
Yeah. My favorite Chargers thing is if you look at the stat line, Justin Herbert had he was 40 of 47, 405 yards, 3 touchdowns. The Chargers had 30 rushing yards the entire game.
Like Justin Herbert is carrying this team.
Just Eckler's hurt, so I don't blame the rush game right now.
I mean, I don't blame it, but like,
you got to find
you
some
have to have
other,
some-
you have to get more
Yeah.
than 30 rushing yards.
Well,
I mean,
it's Joshua Kelly. What is he going to do?
well, then the issue is the offensive line. It's like if
Yeah.
you can't get a run blocking offensive line, like what are you talking
like
about?
it's not a skill issue at running back. Like I've seen a lot of other teams make it work with like not great. Like it's not like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Isaac
Look at the
Pacheco, and Jerick
Browns.
McKinnon
Look at the
are, like, world
Browns.
beaters. Yeah.
Ford looks pretty good.
Yep.
Like he's not looking like Chubb, but he's still pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's because of their offensive line. Cardinals just went up
Cowboys down by 12.
27.
Don't worry
to whatever.
about it.
Oh yeah, I guess. I mean, the Giants were down by 21 at one point,
Yeah.
so whatever.
But
Carolina
just-
money line was free.
Roger, you were talking about this a little bit before the podcast. Do you think it's finally that the Vikings are cooked? Do you think they're over now?
It's not looking good for them. It's not. It's the Vikings are a team that has the pieces, and every season they're like, oh, Vikings are in playoff contention. They should win the NFC North. It's not looking too good. I know it's still early, but I would. It's not looking good for them. Defense is struggling. Jefferson looks very mad at Cousins half the
He
time.
also was he hurt part of the end of the part of the game?
Jettas or Cousins?
Jettas.
Maybe
He like hurt
really
his
see the game.
foot, I think, at one point, but it was like
I
very
didn't see
very
it,
end of
yeah.
the game. Very end of the game.
I mean, for the Vikings, the biggest thing is they've played the Eagles, they've played
Chargers and
Chargers.
the Titans.
So they have played no
Bucks.
divisional
Mhm.
games so far.
Yeah.
So they really have good luck against those division teams.
They'll
They
be
can still-
okay,
They'll
but
be okay.
I don't
but-
think they're beating the Lions.
I mean, well, they got 2 free wins against the Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Packers, I think they'll split 1-1.
They might.
Yeah,
split
maybe.
1-1.
But I'm saying if they get hot, like if they kind of figure it out a little bit, they can still
Again,
run that table a
division's
little
always
bit.
the most important
Mhm.
one to win.
Yeah.
But even still, like starting 0-3, isn't it like statistically, if you go 0-2, I think it's only like 12% of teams make the playoffs
0-3
after
is a
that.
death trap after that.
Yeah, 0-3 is a bad luck.
I mean, the biggest thing is it's hard to be good for a lot of years in the NFL. Like, not a lot of teams get to be consistently good.
Mhm.
And the Vikings are kind of wasting a year that they could be good. And it's like,
Mhm.
at some point, like they've been good for a decent amount of time. Not great, but good. At some point, they're not going to be able to sustain it. And it's like they're wasting a year that they could be.
They're wasting one of the best receivers ever.
Yeah.
In Justin
And they're going to
Jefferson.
lose Kirk Cousins, and there's no promise that they're going to get someone better.
There's no backup plan
Yeah. there's
unless
not-
they're trading up for like Drake May.
Yeah, but then like, are you going to like stick Drake May, who's going to need 2 years to develop, with
Yeah,
Justin Jefferson, who's probably like trying
who's
to.
going to need a contract in 2 years?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or like, I
So-
think they were trying to get him a contract this year or something. Like, yeah, and then eventually Addison's going to need one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
I don't know.
we'll see what's up with the Vikings, but obviously not a great start.
Chargers finally didn't charger. You finally kind of played up to your potential. Still, stop being the Chargers. Stop.
It's a good
trying
thing the Broncos are 0-3 and the Raiders are not much better. So.
Yeah, just please stop trying to throw games away. And for the love of God, please protect Justin Herbert. I beg you.
Please protect older Kenny Pickett. Please.
Older, taller, better Kenny Pickett. Yeah.
Saints Packers, just a super strange game that I'm really happy for Jordan Love. Saints
Yes,
go up
Yeah.
that
7
was awesome.
Saints got a great defense, go up 17-0. Packers are a team riddled with injury right now. Christian
Mhm.
Watson still hasn't played. Aaron Jones is out.
Yeah.
I mean, Jordan
I
Love.
think Bakhtiari's also out too. Or something
Bakhtiari
like
is
that.
also out. And Packers go down 17-0. Fourth quarter, they come back.
Come
18
all the way
points.
back. Yep.
And it was just really exciting to watch. And Derek Carr obviously gets injured part of that game. But
Mhm.
I was just really happy to see Jordan Love playing well. I think these first 3 games has shown that he's going to have a lot of runway to be their starting quarterback for the
Oh,
next
yeah.
4 or 5
yeah.
years.
And something that it was a really good call by the I think it was maybe by like one of the Packers radio announcers or something, but it was like after the touchdown to put them ahead, the call was, "Do you believe in love?" As he scores, I'm like,
Oh
God, that's
my
so
God.
good. That's so good. But yeah, Romeo Doubs actually is turning out to be a very, very good receiver.
Mhm.
Something that I'm kind of like looking at now, it's like, damn, like if the Packers front office didn't like completely ruin their relationship with Rodgers,
Yeah.
like these young receivers really would have developed into being
Mhm.
good. So yeah, nice job, Packers front office.
Yeah, I will say the
Um,
chemistry there is good too with Love. Like,
Yeah, it's
because-
very clear. Like they're on time. He's throwing good balls, and like I think he's definitely he's still very young. Like he still needs to develop, but I think he definitely has the potential to be a very solid
Yeah.
starter.
I watched him today throw a pass where he like kind of did the thing where like you run up in the pocket and then you
Mhm.
jump
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
you can get the proper arm angle.
Yeah.
And he threw a really good pass. I think it was on a 2-point conversion.
Mhm.
That looked really good. And then he had a couple times where he just like gets outside the pocket and he just does this like quick sidearm throw
That's
and
a
arm
Rodgers
angles,
throw.
and it's really impressive. And
That's a throw that was taught to
and he
him
looks
probably by
poised.
Rodgers,
He doesn't ever look rattled, even when
No.
even when he had like,
very
50
surprising. A lot
Yeah.
of maturity out of him.
like
Yeah.
even after he was like 50% completion rate early on in the game and just not having it go. He never really
Yeah.
looked like over like a quarterback that looks like this is like Justin Fields a lot. Like they just start getting to him and he just looks like he falls
just-
apart. Actually, Lamar does this a lot too, where he
It
falls
looks
apart.
like they're thinking as they're trying to play. Like it needs to be more instinct.
yeah,
Versus like, so if this guy's going there, then this means like, no, you can't be thinking while you're playing. Like,
Yeah.
you need to just go.
yeah, and he's very like poised. So
Mhm.
I was happy to see that for the Packers.
Very happy.
And that's good for them. They're still in the hunt, 2-1.
Mhm.
But Saints and Packers are both two really good teams. They're just like missing these pieces in certain spots that
Yeah.
keep them away from like competing heavy.
I think it's definitely like, I mean, Derek Carr being injured is not a
Yeah.
good look at all for the Saints. I think it was throwing shoulder too.
Yeah, it was right shoulder.
So then you're going to be putting your prayers on famous Jameis. So I mean, once Alvin Kamara comes back, I think you'll have a lot more of like a dynamic run game that'll probably balance out their offense better. That'll probably help put the pressure off of Jameis. But again, we don't know what the injury is to Carr. We don't know how long it's going to be. We don't know really anything about it at this point. But yeah, I think it's like they really need to have a more balanced offense to be able to do it because their defense is really good.
They're no problem.
Really, really good.
I don't think a team scored more than 20 on them this year.
I don't think so. I mean, granted, they haven't played like the best opponents, but even still, like holding NFL teams to under 20 is a great record to have.
Yeah, they played the Raiders. The Raiders have
Devontae Adams
and Josh Jacobs and Garoppolo as a quarterback.
And then they played the Panthers. Was it?
Yeah, the Panthers.
Yeah, that one. Okay, that's kind of a gimme.
Yeah,
but,
and then they play Packers, so they're not great competition.
But still, it's like you're still holding NFL teams to like under a certain score.
Yeah.
It's still very good. For the Packers, I think it's like they're clearly a very just like young team on offense. Defense, they kind of got some holes they got to fill out.
Today they were missing Jair Alexander, and
they need to beef up that secondary a little bit because you can't only rely on one guy.
I think they're a team that can make a playoff run.
I could see it. I doubted them at first, but I could the way that they look like a pretty balanced team.
They beat the Saints today without wide receiver 1, cornerback 1. I can't remember if Bakhtiari played or not.
Tackle,
and
I
then,
think, or
and then running back
for like
Aaron Jones didn't play, so
Aaron Jones didn't play.
Yeah,
like that's huge.
I mean, he's a big pass catcher out the backfield too.
Yeah,
so it's not like you're just losing him. So, I'm a fan of watching the Packers right now, and I'm a fan of Jordan.
I'm
Love.
rooting for the Packers.
Yeah,
I like the underdogs.
Yeah, for sure. Again, this is one of the weirdest games of the week. We said this whole week was weird. Everything Chargers game was a little bit weird, but otherwise went to plan. Texans beat the Jaguars by 20 points in Jacksonville.
What is going on with the Jaguars?
Are the Jaguars turning into the Chargers?
Yeah.
It's very confusing. So I transparently remember we're all 21 and betting legally. I bet the Jaguars that they would cover the spread because, like, you know what, their offense looked terrible against the Chiefs. I was like, they're gonna have to come out today and make a statement against the Texans. The line was like, it might have been like 9.5, 10.5. I was like, I'll still take the big line.
Did you pull up the box score for this game just to kind of like see like what was going on?
And just horrible game. I mean, the Texans hanging 37 is just, it's inexcusable. CJ Stroud looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
Stroud 280.
Yeah, he was 20 for 30 with 280 and 2 touchdowns.
The amount of mistakes that Stroud has made early in his career is very few. He's very
Singletary's on the
Devin Singletary's on the team.
Who is Tank Dell? He was kind of popping off today.
Yeah,
Tank Dell is one of their rookie running backs.
Yeah.
I mean, they
rookie receivers.
145, 1 tutty.
Simply, the Jaguars just got pushed around the entire game. Like the Texans just took it to them.
Team stats.
There wasn't a lot of turnovers or anything like that. It was just
the Jaguars had more total yards, more passing yards, more rushing yards. Just less yards per play. The Jaguars had more first downs,
higher time of possession.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
Wait, can you go to the Houston defense? Like, were they like getting to Trevor? Any sacks?
No sacks.
No
sacks.
What
recorded.
did they do?
It's a game most people didn't watch because like it's not an exciting game. But yeah, Trevor Lawrence had 1 interception. There's all around it's not a good game. I don't know what else to say. And for the Jaguars to start off 1-2 after having a good year,
that's an in-division loss.
Mm-hmm. That is
in-division loss, and
with the way the Colts are looking.
Yep, it's not. I think it's an inexcusable loss at home because now you have to go on the road and play the Texans, and the Texans are only a team that's going to get better. Like, do you think CJ Stroud's going to get worse as the year goes on, or
that wouldn't really make sense?
Nico Collins and Robert Wood, like all these John Mechie, like all these guys aren't going to get worse during the course of the year.
It was a kick return. That's what it was.
It was a kick return for a touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, even still, that doesn't excuse.
The Jaguars had the Jaguars had 2 turnovers.
A 68-yard pass from CJ Stroud to Tank Dell.
Oh, that was really dark.
And then 1, 2, 3 field goals. And
yeah, so just overall weird game that wasn't really cut because like we were watching Red Zone for a while and it wasn't really like cut to for a while. It was just like kind of cut back and it's like, oh yeah, Texans scored. It's like, what? How do they keep scoring?
Yep. But yeah, CJ Stroud's really good, which is exciting.
He's better than Bryce Young right now.
Yeah, for the Jaguars, they're going to figure out a way to start chaining them together a little bit because again they were in the dogfight with the Colts for a while in that first game. They lost to the Chiefs by scoring 9 points the entire game. Now they lost to the Texans by 20, and they're going to start playing better because you got a logjam. Texans are 2-1. Colts are 2-1. Texans are 1-2. And then the Titans are going to be in the mix. They're just going to be mid.
They're always going to be in
so. Jaguars are going to have to figure it out. There was a lot of expectations for them this year to get to
they were pretty much guaranteed. They were crowned like the AFC South champions before they even started playing, and now it's looking like the Colts might win this division.
Yeah, So rough game there, but not as rough as the Dolphins hanging 70 points on the Broncos. Game, just one of those games where you look at the line and you just like the score line and you're just like, what the hell happened? Like, it looks like a college football game. 70 points.
It looks like one of those games where teams like pay a very, very small school to come up and just beat the crap out of them.
AKA Bishop Sycamore versus IMG Academy.
The fact that was a high school game is insane. But yes, that whole thing about how like Alabama tries to get like Western Dakota University or something to like go and play them, and then they just like drop 70 on them for their first game of the year. That was one of the biggest ass beatings I've ever seen. Yes, of course it's a real thing.
This is with the caveat too, like the Broncos scored a special teams touchdown.
Yeah.
So it's not like it was just like, the Broncos at least got 20 offensive points on the board. Like, no, they scored 13 points the entire game.
Yeah.
On the offense side of the ball. Dolphins, it's just like 70 is just nuts to see a score like that in a football game.
Mm-hmm.
It was just all over the field. I mean, the Dolphins just destroyed them rushing the ball.
That rushing,
yeah,
which is terrifying.
Mostert and that rookie, whoever that is,
yeah. That's the most horrifying thing I've ever. I didn't even put that like in the like realm of possibility of the Miami Dolphins getting a run game is the scariest thing I've ever heard of. Because they have one of the best passing attacks.
Waddle was out of this game.
He wasn't playing.
It wasn't even Tyreek's air attack was like...
He was like fine.
Yeah, but it wasn't
he had 150, a touchdown, and all that was early on.
Which is like a great stat line. But like for Tyreek, it's not like anything insane.
It's not out of the realm of possibility.
It's like, it's Tyreek Hill. Like he's going to have 100 yards, but 1 touchdown. But that doesn't mean you're hanging 70 on a team.
Yep.
What did they do to Mike McDaniels when he was a ball boy?
Yeah. So for anybody that doesn't know, Mike McDaniels was at one point a ball boy for the Denver Broncos when he was a kid. And also at one point, Sean Payton did say, who was the head coach of the Denver Broncos, that Tua eventually was going to get benched because he was bad. And boy, did Tua get benched, but not because he was bad, but because they were up by 50.
What's crazier is they're up by 50 and they still got 20 more points with their backups.
That was so... Yeah. I thought it was disrespectful when they went for it on 4th and goal, up by 28.
If you've been listening to our podcast in the past, if not, go check out our last episodes. But we've been talking a lot about how Sean Payton's talked a lot of trash in the offseason, specifically during Nat Hackett, and their team was starting 0-2. This just more is telling that he should have stayed in broadcasting, because things like his old takes about Tua and stuff are coming up, and it's like he said too much on the airwaves when he was a commentator, like when he was an analyst or whatever, and like you're supposed to, like that's part of the job. But now he's trying to come back into the NFL. His team isn't performing; they're 0-3, and it's just like, and every single time they play, it's just something new. The first week was like a low score. It looked like a Denver Broncos loss from last year, where it was like, oh, if we scored more than 18, we'd be winning all the games. Like that's exactly what happened in the first game of the season. Then last week it was the 21-0 comeback by the Commanders to lose that football game, and you catch the Hail Mary at the end of the game, then you can't convert the 2-point conversion, like that type of game. And then today it's getting 70 hung on you.
And the Dolphins nearly broke the NFL record of 72.
They chose not to.
Which they chose not to. Very classy by them to not break the NFL record on somebody, but to only hang 70. Yeah, that was that, like, it. Watching that through Red Zone was one of the craziest things ever, because it'd be like you'd be watching one game and then they just smash cut and it's like, oh yeah, Dolphins are in the red zone, they scored, and then they like cut away to another game and you'd be watching that for a little bit, they cut right back, Dolphins are in the red zone, they scored again.
Yeah,
it was insane. And this is all, as Raj pointed out when we were watching the game, this is without Jalen Ramsey on defense.
Yep.
And the Miami defense looked really, really good.
No Jalen Ramsey on defense, no Waddle on offense.
Eli Apple the truth at DB?
He might have just needed to come down to Miami.
Get some warm weather.
Maybe it's just like getting the joints right. I don't know. But, that was... Again, thank you, Broncos, for being so bad to have everybody forget about how bad the Giants were first game. I really appreciate that. But that was one of probably the biggest ass whooping I've ever seen in an NFL game. And that is including Super Bowl whatever, where the Seahawks blew out the Broncos. This was like if the Denver Broncos just walked out there and they just got pantsed like in front of everybody.
Yep.
Like that was egregious.
Greatest tragedy to happen to the state of Colorado in 24 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was another thing that we pointed out was because we talked about Colorado football a little bit.
Yeah.
They also got humbled very quickly
Yep.
by Oregon.
And
Kind
now-
of,
as
the
we
me-
had
the media
kind of said, we had predicted
yeah.
that.
Media switched up real
Yeah.
quick. They love their storylines, but we'll kind of breeze past that because we kind of expect.
Maybe we'll talk about it at the end because
Yeah.
I do have some thoughts about the Colorado game.
Yeah,
but what I did want to talk about is I think it's very clear right now that the Dolphins lead the NFL in the power rankings, like,
they should
for
be.
Yeah, they should be one.
and they clearly have the MVP favorite right now.
into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
He was he missed like 3 passes or something, like 3 or 4 passes,
Yeah.
and had like 300 something yards.
I'll be clear that I do not think the Dolphins are going to win the Super Bowl or going to go to the Super Bowl.
They just feel there's
But
some weird feeling
right
about
now
them,
they're playing like they're the best team.
but- mhm.
726 total yards.
Yeah, they nearly put up 800 yards.
I just want to say this tells you how good Christian Gonzalez is because he was able to hold guys. He was able to help hold Tyreek down
Mhm.
when they played the Patriots, and then you just see that there's nothing like he's like what's his face Patrick Surtain today can't hold down Tyreek Hill. So it really shows you how good the Patriots
Yeah.
defense really is at times.
Mhm.
Like being able
as
to
much as we chirp Belichick for like, oh, he's old, he's not with the new wave of
Yeah,
NFL, whatever. It's like he knows defense better than anybody because he's
Yup.
pulling up stuff from like 1942 and being like, "Yep, this is how they ran defense back then." And guess what? We're gonna bring some of this stuff out
Oh my
now.
god, another scoregami happened this week.
Yeah.
70 to
I
20
mean-
is a scoregami.
No, duh. Anything with 70 is a scoregami.
yeah. But so again, Broncos Dolphins, like just an interesting game.
Hilarious.
I love that Sean Payton's getting like destroyed right now.
Yeah.
Just
I kind of like it because
There's-
he's just so obnoxious. He's just like he has this air of like he's better than everybody just because he was getting carried by Drew Brees his entire career.
I didn't think he had this coming into his broadcasting career, but I think
no,
like
but I think in the broadcasting career he kind of just was like, oh,
I think-
it's holier than thou.
yeah, I think he picked it up and he was good at that job, and then he was like, I'm gonna go fix the Broncos, and he's not fixing the Broncos at all. And
Is Bounty Gate back?
is what?
Bounty Gate.
What's Bountygate?
So that was where the New Orleans Saints, not make it very clear, not Sean Payton, one of their defensive coaches, put bounties on other teams' players, and
I love that.
paid his own defenders whenever they purposely injured them or took them out of games.
I didn't realize other teams didn't do this. Anyway, what I pegged as one of the biggest mid-offs of the NFL season actually turned into a blowout. Browns beat the Titans 27-3. I don't know what to do with the Browns because after game 1, I was like, oh, wow, they might actually be really good. Then they played the Steelers, who don't have an offense, and I was like, wow, the Browns really aren't that good. And then today, Deshaun Watson played great, and they destroyed the Titans, but, like, it's the Titans.
Yeah, like the Titans. And the thing is, like, they show flashes of like being really good. Like Tannehill threw this absolute bomb down the field where it was some like kind of like no name receiver, but he went up, mossed a dude, got them into the red zone. It was crazy. And then it's like they just like kick a field goal. It's like what are we doing? Like what's happening?
Yeah, I don't like. I wonder within that organization, that being the Titans, like what the long-term outlook is, because like I don't see where the Titans are like. Because like right now you're 1-2. Tannehill throws 25 passes, they 104 yards. There's no reason Will Levis shouldn't be in the game. Like Tannehill's clearly not going to get you places that Will Levis can't potentially get you.
So is Malik Willis just done in the NFL? Is he ever going to play?
No, Malik Willis is cooked. That guy was a potential first-round player, and then fell all the way to the 3rd round or whatever it was, and then they drafted a guy in the 2nd round or 3rd round, and Will Levis. Like, no, I think Malik fell to the 5th round or something, and then Levis fell to the 3rd round.
Speaking of Will Levis, his girl broke up with him.
I know, I did hear that. Like, that was
This poor guy.
big news story.
Rumor has it she was in backstage of a Morgan Wallen concert.
Uh-oh.
Next thing you know, broken
Damn,
up.
These NFL writers are cooking. this
Yeah.
shit, man.
We can talk about that a little bit when we get to the Chiefs game, especially. Big script, big money. I mean, NFL's got a lot of money to throw around the actors. I'm just gonna say that. But Derrick Henry has 20 yards like on the ground. It's just like I just don't know what the Titans are doing. They feel like they're in no man's land. I just don't see the outlook because again, I don't see why you're playing Tannehill over Levis at that point unless you're just like Levis can't actually play at all. And I feel like you just should come out and say that because there's no other reason for it. But I don't like Deshaun Watson.
I hate him as a
But
person.
I am happy that he's playing a little bit better because the league is better
for
with
the
Deshaun Watson
yes,
playing.
yeah. For the NFL, for average fans, it's better
Yeah.
when good players play well. I hate you though. I want you to know that.
27 of 33,
You're a
289
scumbag, bro.
yards, 2 touchdowns.
Mhm.
It's just such a shame that Nick Chubb is injured.
It is. It's so
Thankfully,
sad.
it's just MCL.
Somehow.
Crazy.
That was
just
breaking
absolutely
news on what, yesterday?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yesterday it was like only an MCL, and I was like,
That dude's knee is made out of adamantium. I don't
Yeah.
know what they did surgery wise to like fix it the first time, but they straight up put titanium in that.
yeah,
Because there's no way those like ligaments wouldn't just implode onto themselves.
yeah. I don't think we talk about it.
No,
No,
because it was
it
Monday.
was the Monday night game, yeah.
Oh my god,
We didn't
yeah.
react to it. One of the most like when you slowed it down because you didn't really see what happened. It was in a pile.
In real time, you didn't really see it.
Mhm.
but like just seeing how far that knee bent
It's
in
about
the
like this.
directions.
It legit. So for those that didn't see it, please don't watch it. It's bad. But basically, long story short, Nick Chubb during the Monday Night Football game against the Steelers, he was going to like kind of like drive forward the end zone, got stood up by one player, and then of course because it's Nick Chubb, obviously you want to try to take out his leg so he can't keep running. But you have Minkah Fitzpatrick, great safety in the NFL, comes up, tries to go low, and like obviously like cut his legs out so that way he can't keep running. No, I saw it, don't worry. And he just hits him in like the side of the knee, and his knee, like if you're looking at like the side of his knee, it goes like that, like at a complete right angle, and his entire body is over top of it. And it genuinely slowed down. Was one of the craziest injuries I've seen in a very long time. And the fact that it was the same knee that he had so much damage in college, and he didn't tear anything else beside an MCL.
Yeah.
Those doctors need to be investigated because they have to be working on a super soldier
Yeah.
program. There's no shot that the stuff they were putting in his knee was anything less than carbon fiber. Like, that is crazy.
Yeah. So breaking news: we got a fraud watch alert. The Cowboys just lost to the Cardinals.
No shot. They just lost.
Officially lost.
No way.
I just saw them kneel it down. Victory formation. It's over.
Oh,
I guess we'll just go to that game real quick and
Um,
jump to it,
reacted to it in real time.
I want to start. They are frauds. How do you lose to the Arizona Cardinals? Josh Dobbs, bald head. I'm sorry that I know he has alopecia, but still, I don't care. I'm just saying.
You can't say that. Whatever you were gonna say. Take a second. Reevaluate.
Okay, so
it.
I'm gonna start talking so that way Raj can collect his thoughts. Thank you, Cardinals, for ruining your tank against the Cowboys and not the Giants, so that way I can hang this over
already
Cowboys' heads. NFL memes is already on this. Cardinals, God bless you. Thank you so much for bringing out the memes this week are going to be so good.
Before any Cowboys fans start coming out saying, you know,
It's
we had
because we didn't have Trayvon
Diggs
Diggs
and like I know they had offensive linemen out. That is no excuse for losing to a team of the Cardinals caliber when all the time it was like, look at us, we blew out the Jets, we blew out the Giants. All of offseason talk about you being the best team in the league. Well, you're not going to have Trayvon Diggs back all year, so you don't have to worry about that. Your offensive line will come back a little bit, but Arizona just took it to you in the run game. Like the whole it's not like Arizona like it was a low scoring game, and you could be like, yeah, the offensive line was out, but our defense still. Yeah,
He had 14 carries for 98 yards and a touchdown, averaging 7 yards a carry.
and Josh Dobbs has 55 yards rushing. Like this, one player can't dictate your entire team,
Mhm.
and so. For the Cowboys, it can't just be Trayvon Diggs is the reason that you're
No.
not going to win the Super Bowl this year. You can't just be one injury ruins your whole entire season. I know it was rare, but the Eagles won the damn Super Bowl, and their MVP quarterback got injured.
Yeah, like that can't be an excuse.
You can't make that your primary excuse. They also they were being touted as the best defense in the entire league. So
and then one player goes down, and then suddenly they're just, we can't stop the Cardinals.
yeah, exactly.
No, that's
so. I mean, this is why I was so hesitant to say the Cowboys were the best team in the league, for all those weeks that was going on, why they were at 5-6, because the Cowboys are going to Cowboy at some point during the year.
Just did.
They're gonna drop. They're gonna do this, and they're gonna have to like do the whole process of like proving that they're good again and whatnot. It's
and then
just
is it legit or is it just another fluke again? Whatever.
Yeah.
We are here in the cycle.
their offense was not playing like elite football today because you should be able to outscore the Cardinals.
Mhm.
And I'll give it to the Cardinals because that's a big win for them
That
in
is.
terms of like the team culture, team mentality of like, yeah, we can play because they played 2 hard games so far. I'll give a little bit of shout out to Josh Gannon. I keep giving him shout outs in these episodes.
Josh
but
Gannon, the weirdo.
Everyone's been knocking him for his oh, he's really cringy and how he talks to players and he didn't even deserve a head coaching job. Well, he's got the boys playing hard.
Hey,
Yeah.
he held the Cowboys to 16 points.
The Cowboys at 16 points. He's clearly the guys are playing hard for him.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray's playing Call of Duty off on the side right now.
Joshua Dobbs looks like a good quarterback.
I think Josh Dobbs is going to play himself into a nice like Teddy Bridgewater role where
he might.
he will be a
like
backup quarterback that ends up traveling a lot of places but makes a lot of money. And
the Chase McDaniel professional bank robber.
Teddy Bridgewater, Gardner Minshew right now.
Yeah,
that kind of guy.
just a good solid vet to have in the backup. I think you're right. I think he
Oh my
'cause-
God, Robbie Anderson caught a touchdown.
Chosen
my
Anderson.
bad. Robbie
yeah.
Chosen Anderson, whatever.
No,
Yes.
just Chosen Anderson.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
think he changed his name again at some point. I don't know.
No,
Maybe.
Chosen's his last name. Robbie Chosen.
That's what it was. Sorry, but anyway, when I saw the Cowboys come out on Sunday Night Football and punch the Giants completely in the mouth and then pants them. That was
Both.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, both happened.
They punched them in the mouth first and then pants them.
Okay, just
just need to
humiliation,
make that clear. So they looked easily like the best team in the league for those 2 games. This is. I'm not saying the season's over because it's not. That's stupid. 1 loss doesn't ruin a season.
No, the season's over.
But this is a really.
Thanks for being reasonable, Rush.
I'm also delusional.
This is a really, really bad loss because you have a tough strength of schedule. The entire NFC East does this year. And that was a gimme win. That was one of the games that everybody wrote off as they will win this.
I'm pretty sure they were like minus like 3.
It was 12.5.
Yeah.
12.5
before
spread.
Trayvon Diggs injury, which I don't know, maybe moved to 10.5.
The line didn't move. It was still 12.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like it was a big line, and it's inexcusable to lose that type of game, especially when, again, you'll probably make the wild card at least, but like you have a team in the Eagles who are obviously like
They're winning the division.
Eagles, Niners, and Cowboys are clearly the class of the NFC, or were class of the NFC. Now the Eagles for the division win are gonna almost have like an automatic up on you because
They're going to be 1 game up.
they're not. I think I don't know. Do the Eagles play the Cardinals? I gotta
They
check
do.
real- They do.
Because it's the NFC West and NFC East play each other.
Okay, yeah. So like we're gonna figure the Eagles are gonna win that football game. So you've lost a game kind of now on the Eagles, which you really needed to have that game. And again, you have less room for error right now with some injuries on your team. Not that the other teams aren't going through injuries, but really need to. It's just a terrible loss, and it's just again 16 points. It goes on Dak. It goes on the wide receiver core, running game. Just
Which was so their offense was supposed to be so good. They have Brandon Cooks. He's supposed to be this great number 2 beside him. Dak is supposed to take this big leap again against one of the worst teams in the league, which at this point, I don't even think we can consider Arizona one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, and I mean, part of it comes to being prepared coming into the game. You have 13 penalties for 120 yards.
That's terrible.
You can't do that. I mean, the Cowboys had more total yards, more passing yards, a little bit less rushing yards, 2 less yards per play. They both had 1 interception thrown. I mean, it's just the way you lose football games. It's just
Playing down your opponent.
yeah, you had more penalties, you had more turnovers, and you lost the game by 12 points. It's just exactly what I expected from the Cowboys, that they're getting all this media attention, like
And
people
then
being like, yeah, I guess they're the best team in the league now, and
Stephen A. Smith.
is going to be unbearable on
my
Monday.
God. That cowboy hat and cigar combo is going to go
Call
insane
me
tomorrow.
Stephen A. Patel with what I'm about to
Okay.
But just, yeah, that's a live reaction of just,
Wow, the Cowboys suck.
I mean, it's not, it's, like we say a lot
Thanks,
of
Rush.
we say a lot of teams suck. Like we always talk, we just talk about how the Titans kind of suck. The Cardinals, like across the entire league,
They
like,
are tanking.
they're like, oh, they're gonna go 0-16 or 0-17.
Yeah.
Like everyone was like 1-16, 0-17. What do you? I don't even know what their win total was for the year.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't like they're like suddenly a good football team.
They're still bad.
Yes.
They have been, are still, and will continue to tank. They are trying to get Caleb Williams, make no mistake. This win is just making sure that Caleb Williams understands that he shouldn't stay in college another year. That is all this win is trying to show, is that, like you were saying last week against the Giants, where it's like you fight hard and then you lose. But in this case, they were showing that they could fight hard and they could beat good teams.
I genuinely think this is. I was all on board with the fact that the Cardinals were going to have another well-fought game and just a short loss. You know, it's all part of the script. I think this was calculated. I think the Cardinals want to be on national TV for the entire week.
Yeah.
And then they'll lose every game the rest of the year.
Exactly.
But they'll have so much attention because then it's Williams goes there.
Exactly. Like you have the first couple.
Gannon wanted to win this game for Philly.
Oh yeah, because he hates. Oh my God, Agent Gannon,
our guy. Okay,
bro. The Giants and Eagles are playing 10D chess right now. We had Agent Bradbury and Agent Tony in the Super Bowl. You have Agent Gannon already in Arizona. Oh my God.
I need to check Steichen's schedule.
Oh my God. I'm done talking about the Cowboys. What's the next game?
Yeah. All right.
They're terrible. The season's over.
Yeah, we'll go back.
It's not.
Unfortunately, Raj and I had to cancel the Sam Howell fan club today. We've been on the Sam Howell ride for so long. Bro comes in and throws 4 interceptions. His best Nate Peterman impression. Just a brutal game of like. If you look at everything from this game, it's not like the Bills just like dominated the whole. It's just like you can't turn the ball over 5 times for the game.
Yeah, if you turn the ball over 5 times, you just cannot win a football game, period, because you're just not going to be able to put up enough points, just mathematically. But like, finally, Josh Allen he was playing so well for so long, and then he just bombed one into double coverage again.
He's not being the allegations. He just goes out there and just does stuff. See if it works.
I love him as a person, but stop throwing into double coverage.
Even on it, like it's just like they won 37-3, and Josh Allen was like 20 of 32, 218, a touchdown, an interception. Like he didn't even have a good game.
No, he didn't really have a good game. Did they have a good rushing game?
Yeah, they had a good rushing game.
I mean,
Cook had 98, Allen 46, Murray 15.
Okay, well there
Harris
you go.
15. So they, all right. Again, Stephon Diggs 111 yards, 8 receptions, but like just. It's you just can't turn the ball over that much if you're the Commanders.
Yeah, that's unreal. Going from beating a solid defense in the Broncos and like coming back all the way to just letting the Bills manhandle you, and then having the Washington defense go against like the Bills defense is like pretty good. It's not it's not like I wouldn't say it's in like the upper echelon, but it's still a very solid and competent defense.
Yeah.
And only put up 3 points. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
But yeah, no, just a really weird game. I bet the Commanders again. Don't take betting advice from me, but I bet the Commanders plus 5.5 and just an absolute like disaster.
Yeah.
Colts Ravens in a game that the Ravens.
That was I was saying it's going to be holding the medal for. Previously, it was the Chargers versus the Vikings holding the record for. Sorry, by the way, people are just walking in behind us into our house. That's why we're looking away. We were distracted.
That's why Russ called him an idiot earlier.
Yeah. But it took the title this week for the game that nobody wanted to win. It was unreal trying to watch. It was so painful to watch the end of that game. It was so bad.
They went into the 2-minute warning in overtime, and I was like,
was watching them try to like fake a play and get the Ravens to jump in the 2-minute warning in overtime was one of them. Like, I don't know what is going on with the league at this point, but that was unreal. Justin
Tucker's missing field goals.
He missed
a 61-yarder to win the game. So
he was short. I mean, it was bad.
Gardner Minshew ran out the back of the end zone for safety points. It was just like
that was so bad.
The game was a meme, and now like the Ravens had a perfect opportunity to go up a game in a tight division where like the Steelers might be 2-1 after the Raiders game. Browns are 2-1. You're just like, oh, Bengals are 0-2.
Mhm.
And you're like, oh, the Ravens are gonna go 3-0. Like they're gonna get a firm, like a good foothold on the division. Nope.
They found a way to
Colts
lose. Found
with
a
Gardner
way.
Minshew.
Yep, they found a way to lose.
Yep. And again,
Their
it's just
first
huge
AFC South.
standings wise in terms of like having that. Again, it's just a game where you're like Colts. You're like, we'll definitely win that game. We'll take care of business. And
Mhm.
Lamar Jackson putting up 19 is just another like
Stinker.
It's just like you got to play better than that. It's just
Weren't we saying last week? It's like, do you think that the Ravens could like win the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
just said no, and then
No.
everyone's like gassing up the Ravens. Nope,
It-
they're gonna find a way to lose. We
like,
knew it.
Yeah, it's like listening to the game is just very like prevalent. They don't have enough talent because all the commentators keep talking about Zay Flowers and how he's like one of their number one targets. And I'm like, you can't have the rookie
Be your number one.
be your number one. It wasn't like he was an overwhelming like a Marvin Harrison coming in
Or like an Odell Beckham Jr.
Justin Jefferson, Odell, Jamar Chase. Like, he's not one of those guys. He was.
Hey, they have Nelson Aguilar.
Oh yeah, you're right. He committed a
Sorry.
huge penalty in the
Yeah,
in the
that was-
overtime period that like almost like cost him the game.
Ended up costing.
Yeah,
the
it
game
ended
anyway,
up
but-
costing a lot. Yeah, but yeah, they just don't have enough talent. They just keep talking about Zay Flowers being one of the primary targets. And I'm like, you're
Yeah.
just getting this like 21, 22-year-old kid. And you're like, you're the number one option because we have nobody else. And Mark Andrews has not played well at all, especially as a Mark Andrews
No.
fantasy owner. I've personally, after the Kyle Pitts disaster of last year and the Mark Andrews disaster of this year so far,
Yeah.
down
Feeling
bad on
bad.
tight ends. I played. Okay, this is really off topic. I played Sam Laporta today as my flex in another league because it's a 16-person.
Did it work
league. And
well?
oh my, he had so many points. Like double tight end goes crazy. Now
Double tight end goes.
Now Dalton
nuts.
Kincaid had no points, so he was my main tight end, and that was.
Oh my god! All right.
I'd stop listening to these commentators say such things.
I
Like
know,
it's all
it's-
It's so funny every time.
It is. Commentators have been on. Everybody in the NFL has been on demon time this week. I don't know what's
Yeah.
been going on.
It's great. Peter, you do a really good like sound. That was the Patriots Jets game.
What even happened that was relevant during that game?
Literally nothing. It
15
was
to 10 is the most perfect Patriots Jets game I would have expected.
It was Pats Jets in MetLife, pouring rain,
Oh,
awful weather. Belichick was dialing up defenses against
Zach,
Zach Wilson yet again.
the worst.
He was embodying Sam Darnold, seeing ghost. He looked terrible. Jets fans were screaming so bad their dentures were coming out of their mouths.
That was
Um,
wild that they got that on like the main.
The
feed.
fact that they got that on the main feed was crazy.
that
And then-
cameraman needs a raise.
that camera doesn't raise. And don't you worry. To finish it off, that game came down to a Hail Mary where Zach Wilson put it on the money, got deflected, hit Randall Cobb in the hand, and then dropped it to lose the game.
Yep.
The most Jets moment
Mhm.
on the planet.
Yeah. What this game just screams to me is I think we talked about it a little bit last week. The Jets just can't waste the season with Zach Wilson playing quarterback. And
Mhm.
I want to root for Zach, and I hate that people are all like against him and like talking crap about him and
Mhm.
everything like that. It's just like they need to just go out and get somebody
Just
who
get somebody.
has a chance to play.
Dare
Like, you
I
put up-
say Gardner Minshew?
dare I say Colin Kaepernick?
No.
Carson Wentz. It's Carson Wentz.
No, it's not.
They
It's
should go
not.
out and sign him, but they need to get somebody who can actually play quarterback and give you a shot to get into the playoffs. Because it's not like
Yeah.
the AFC has been normally really like competitive division. Right now, they're not like overwhelmingly good. So like
Mhm.
they can still they're 1-2. They can still come back and try to make a playoff push,
Yeah.
but they're not going to do it with Zach Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson's just going to get increasingly frustrated. I just don't think it's good for their team to have a year where they're just building up again, losing habits, and then Rodgers going to have to come in and go through the whole year again. Like they need someone in there who's a professional, who's been there for a while, and can at least get this team to 8 wins so that they can feel what competitive football like feels
Yeah.
like, because they're going to need to come in and win a Super Bowl or something next year because Rodgers is not getting any younger.
Mhm.
And they're just wasting time.
it's
Like
so
this was
sad.
a game where if they had just,
They would have
I'm just going to keep
steamrolled
saying
the
Carson
Patriots.
Wentz just because I think he's
Yeah.
the most talented guy on the market. Doesn't mean he's the best quarterback in the free agent pool.
They are not getting Joe Flacco. Get that off your screen right now.
They had
He's
Joe
younger than
Flacco last
Rodgers.
year.
That was Tom Flacco.
They could go out and get like not Will Levis, Malik Willis, or like somebody to like make it more exciting.
Bro, Malik Willis, I don't think would do any better. Than
I don't
Zach
think so
Wilson.
either. But I'm like, they
Go get Gardner Minshew.
I don't know what would the like, especially with the Anthony Richardson injury though. Like who?
I don't think Colts are going to let up Gardner Minshew at this point, but like that would have been the guy
Also,
to go
Gardner
to
is
get.
like Shane Steichen's guy, especially from the years in
Yeah, that's
Philly.
fair.
So like they won't do that. But even you just pulled up Nick Foles. I think a picture of Nick Foles.
34.
Marcus Mariota would be a really
Mariota
a
would
lot
He's
more
on-
of an
he's on the
interesting.
Eagles.
Yeah,
We
that's what I'm
won't
saying.
trade
Like
him.
Yeah.
what?
We won't trade him.
Dude, it's Marcus
You're right.
Mariota. Yes, you can trade him.
Like
We'll
if-
trade him.
for like a linebacker or for like a secondary player.
Yeah.
Like I just think this was the game that the Jets could have won, gone 2-1,
Mhm.
been up to like have a 2-1 record. If only they placed a call into like somebody like Carson Wentz, Gardner
Mhm.
Minshew, these guys who are like okay quarterbacks. Like if they had done that, they would be 2-1 right now, and they would be in second for the division.
Exactly.
And I don't know what the rest of their schedule is like, but they're going to play really tough opponents,
Mhm.
and they're just wasting their season away.
Yeah.
And it sucks to see. And of course, like it's the Aaron Rodgers thing, but now you have to adapt and like you have to change your course now that he got injured. And obviously, Zach Wilson isn't the guy. Like it's 10 points, it's 13-point games. They didn't do anything that game against the Bills until like the very end, and it was a ridiculous jump ball to Garrett Wilson that like
that
bounced
he tipped
around.
it to himself. That would have been a pick. Like
It was a very strange touchdown. It's the only points that Zach Wilson really got.
Yep.
He just can't play quarterback
No.
in the NFL right now, and they need to adjust course. So I do expect that they will do it, though.
Mhm.
I don't think they're going to go this whole entire season, because if you do get the 1 or 2 pick or 3 pick in the draft, like you're not drafting Caleb Williams to bench him for a year or
Exactly.
two. So then you're going to get like an offense. You're just like, you don't need rookies at this point. You need like real good talent. So go win games this year.
Josh Rosen.
No.
What?
Sam Darnold.
Back to the Jets.
Back.
The prodigal son returns.
I was watching a bunch of bad Colin Cowherd takes the other day, and dude was so high on Sam Darnold, like, talking all about Sam Darnold, like when he came out of USC.
Yeah.
And don't remember when Brock Purdy gets hurt, he's gonna save the.
He's gonna pull.
Remember when we went through that
yeah.
phase of like Sam Darnold's the starting quarterback for the 49? That was like a solid thing for a while when we didn't know about the status.
He's gonna do the Nick Foles meme.
Yeah.
There we go.
So that would be really funny though if Sam Darnold came back. Let him to the playoffs.
Let him won the Super
Andrew
Bowl.
Luck's coming out of retirement to go play.
Oh, did you see him that we're using? So for those that don't know, there was like a Twitter account for a really long time that basically Andrew Luck looks like a Civil War general for some reason, just like the way he looks and like his beard. So for a long time, there was an entire Twitter account based on the fact that it was like Andrew Luck coming back from war. And then when Andrew Luck is on like ESPN for the first time, he dressed up in full like Civil War garb to play into the joke. It was so good.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully the Jets change their quarterback situation. I have to imagine something's going to happen in the next like month or so.
Something's going to happen.
Something's going to have to change.
Yeah.
But now the 420 games are all over.
Yeah.
Panthers, Seahawks, another mid-off.
That was kind of a stinker.
Seahawks are now 2-1 though. A little interesting. It'll depend a lot about how this Rams game goes down on Monday night for the division standings. But Panthers, they look better without Bryce, which is just
that's kind of not reassuring.
It's not reassuring at all. A lot of like word around the NFL right now is that like people are not really high on Bryce Young,
because I think it's like the whole thing is that like he clearly is very smart, but it's that you can be really smart, but can you actually play? That's the difference.
So there's not much to say about that game though. The Panthers are not a good football team.
Nope, they're bad.
Nope. Yeah,
they're also tanking for. Well, I guess it would be Marvin Harrison Jr., but he just got hurt, so I have no idea at this point.
Yep. But really, the biggest news story of the entire week is that Taylor Swift was at the Chiefs and Bears game.
Yes, that was actually. We actually have a couple of resident Taylor Swift fans in here. If you guys want to come on, if you would like to speak on behalf of, would you want to come talk about it or no? Oh, sorry.
Oh, so the one time we offered you guys to come on, now you're gonna go, no, we don't want.
It's on record that these two have been invited to sit on the pod.
Yeah.
Well, Taylor Swift will be back in the news at some point for football, so that will be
breaking up with Travis Kelce and dropping.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Travis Kelce in the Super Bowl when Taylor Swift breaks up
That's
with him
gonna
is going
nuts.
to go crazy.
Yes, but yeah, I don't know what I still will hold this truth to heart. Some intern during the NFL script meeting, which definitely happens
for sure,
walked in, and there was a whole commercial about how Travis Kelce's mom, Donna Kelce, it was like a joke. It was like, oh, what if my character starts dating Jimmy Garoppolo? It's like, he's very handsome.
Yeah,
of course. But
good-looking gentleman.
I think an intern came in and was like, hey, I have an idea. So look, there's this girl named Taylor Swift. She's really, really popular.
Changed the U.S. economy this summer.
Completely affected the U.S. economy. Like a noticeable percentage. What if we had notable bachelor Travis Kelce,
Star of Jason Kelce.
star brother of star Jason Kelce, tried to give her a friendship bracelet and see what happens. And they were like, promote this man immediately.
Like they're like, perfect meeting. We'll have him talk about this whole friendship bracelet thing on his New Heights podcast,
Yes,
which is super popular, #1 sports podcast in America.
there
And
is
then we'll plant seeds, and then they'll be quietly talking,
and
and then
then
Taylor Swift will show up at the Bears
she will
game,
be unveiled at the Chiefs stadium, like
sitting
like
next to Donna Kelce.
literally coming in like royalty. Like the stadium is bumping, and then what do they do? What do they hang like a 40 burger on the Bears?
41
Yeah, they hang 41 of the Bears
up 34-0.
Yeah, Travis Kelce had a good stat line.
Donna Kelce has got Taylor.
Donna
Swift.
Kelce is what everybody should have as a wingman. She is amazing. She had Taylor Swift laughing her ass off and so fired up during that game. Donna Kelce is a legend.
Yeah, I'm like waiting for like I know the post game like quotes are gonna come out about like there's gonna be some post game quote from Travis about
It's gonna go
'Cause, I mean,
crazy.
if you're in the media room,
like, come on,
how do you not ask?
Yeah, like come on.
And I know it's gonna be talked about on the New Heights podcast, which is gonna be just
gonna be so
a great
good.
click. What about if Taylor went on the New Heights podcast?
Oh,
Kylie,
That would be
Kylie,
crazy.
Taylor, and Travis.
I am so excited for this. Like genuinely, I'm so unbelievably excited because this is going to be
Aaron
such
Rodgers got hurt so that Travis Kelce could.
Yes, we sacrificed Aaron Rodgers' Achilles for Travis Kelce shooting a shot with Taylor Swift.
Because sometimes the NFL script sometimes things happen outside the script that you have to be prepared for, so you have to hire backup. So
exactly,
no one was prepared for the Aaron Rodgers injury, but
so it's like
they had Taylor Swift on hold. They called her.
exactly.
Up,
They called her up. They're like, "Hey, listen, this
we
would
got
be really cool.
We got a contract for you. You just got to show up for Bears Chiefs in middle September.
Yeah,
it'll be a big deal.
You'll be all done with all your concerts or everything. You can just stop by real quick."
Make Donna Kelce look really good.
Exactly.
Like, say it, laugh a little bit.
Yeah, you'll laugh with Donna Kelce. She's awesome. It'll be a great time.
And it's just so funny because like the whole entire the broadcast can't help themselves. Which
they can't.
I don't blame them. Like
it's right there.
It's so
the jokes
cool.
write themselves. The commentators probably had like every single thing lined up. Like, okay, if this happens, we can include this song in here. We could do this. Like they had it all lined up.
And it's like there's people that you expect to see at the games a lot. Like it's very common that you see like
some certain celebrities,
another
that are,
a basketball
known
player,
to,
even like at NBA games, you see Miles Garrett, like he'll be courtside a lot, or like stuff like that.
That are like,
but to
in
see
the
like
same town,
the most famous pop star
on the planet
right now at the game, you're just like, it's
what? Yeah,
I've and like no, it wasn't actually leaked that much before that she was going to the game. Like I think I texted our group chat as the game before the 1 o'clock game slate, and I was like,
she's going.
She's coming to Arrowhead,
it's confirmed. She is in the building.
Yeah, I wonder if the confirmed they're dating thing is going to come out because they were quietly talking.
Yeah, quietly talking
a little bit ago.
Meanwhile, like they were her and Donna looked real comfy together.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
But again, how could you not be coming around Donna
I know
Kelce?
Donna's awesome. Yeah,
she's got all the commercials right now. Like she's collecting the
know.
bag.
Yeah.
I mean, look.
We're looking at it right now. We're looking at it.
Donna's rising up Taylor Swift.
Yeah, honestly, like I think Travis. I think you got some competition there. I think Donna might be stealing your girl.
Yeah.
But it is. I'm really excited for this because this is going to be a really interesting story arc. And
it's the breakup would be even crazier.
It's
like,
gonna go
as much as
stupid,
the ride
bro.
of them dating is funny. Like the breakup would go
insane. Yeah, they're literally the exact same age too. It's hilarious. But yeah, so and anyway, the actual game itself was irrelevant. The Chiefs just dropped a deuce on the Bears. It doesn't
for
matter.
a while. It looked like it was gonna be a repeat of the Dolphins game,
Yeah.
but worse.
Yeah. So yeah, long story short, very, very bad game by the Bears. Justin Fields is a loser. Again, I don't hate him as a person, but God, he's bad at football.
We were talking about it a little bit before too. Like all the people are just like they need to organize the offense better and do all these things. Like at some point, the guy's got to play quarterback. Like you got to be a good quarterback. He doesn't see the field. He's blaming coaches.
Granted, the Bears had a horrible week of news. Basically, Justin Fields came out and completely blamed coaching for him being bad. And then a defensive coordinator had his house raided by the FBI. We still have absolutely no idea why.
Yeah, that was a weird story where like I didn't know if I was just like not reading into it enough, and then I found out I was reading into it enough. It's just like very vague.
Yeah, it's just
confusing.
very. There was something coming out like it could have been like something with like prescription drugs or something like that.
Oh damn.
It's very very weird. But hopefully that works out and is good for all parties involved and justice is served properly. I don't really know how to handle that. So anyway, next game.
My question is, go around. If the Bears, they have a lot invested in Justin Fields. If they're actually this bad all year, do they draft Caleb Williams or Drake May?
That would be okay. Look, I don't think they should necessarily. It'd be really funny if they did, though.
Because I'm saying, like, you're 0-3 right now. It doesn't look like it's going to get better.
No.
Do you just, like, I would consider just tanking and losing. Like, DJ Moore's a good receiver. You pull him aside. You're like, hey, buddy, we're going to suck. But listen, you're going to have Patrick Mahomes V2.
I think you go up and you get the best offensive lineman in this draft. And then as Raj just pulled up.
Hear me out. Shador Sanders.
No.
Next year.
No. This whole ridiculous.
we'll get to Colorado eventually.
But no, I think you just.
I think you're taking go.
You've got what you've got a game like the Cardinals did you a favor. Like you're now 0-3. You're in the lead. Like
and Houston doesn't even look bad, so they're probably not even going to get a great pick out of them. Well, I mean, they'll probably get like a top 10.
No, like
pick,
you genuine. Are they only 0-3 team?
Panthers, no, Vikings.
Oh yeah, but like they're not gonna stay 0-3.
Yeah.
Panthers are
maybe.
Panthers 0-3?
Panthers are 0-3.
Yeah, but they're not they wouldn't draft the quarterback no matter what. So I think if you're the Bears, just tank. Go get Caleb Williams and be like, sorry, Justin Fields, you can go play for like
CFL, XFL.
Go play for another team and try to revive your career, but like you're not gonna be Caleb Williams. But God, that would be awesome. Caleb Williams.
Ni hao.
Anyway.
Steelers Raiders tonight's game. This will be Sunday night game.
That'll be a stinker.
I mean, just another mid-off. Matt Canada has an increased role in offensive play calling this year.
By the way, Raj is making fun of one of our friends who's a Mets fan. The Phillies beat them tonight. Anyway. We
got a live audience.
We do have a lot. Yeah, we actually do have a live podcast audience right now. This is hilarious. Yeah. But yeah, this is going to be probably one of the worst games of the year, hands down. This is definitely going to be. I'm sorry, I'm taking a picture in the background. I'm very distracted, very unprofessional by us because we're normally such a professional.
We're really
podcast.
known for our professionalism.
Yeah, really known for our professionalism.
That's what this podcast is known for.
But yeah, this is going to be a absolutely terrible game. I expect Devontae Adams to have no less than 150 yards receiving because the Steelers secondary is bad, and
anytime
Joey Porter
touchdown?
Jr. gets away with a lot of PI.
Do I bet it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just bet is over. He's gonna have a lot. I think the Raiders should win. The Steelers defense is historically atrocious. I said offense, right?
No, you said defense.
Oh no, their defense.
I was like,
their defense is very good. TJ Watt's
going to destroy that offensive line.
Yes,
oh my
TJ
God.
Watt's going to have like no less than 3 sacks. But yeah, offense is like because they have like this chart of like offensive efficiency like per play, whatever, and like you have like Giants and like Arizona kind of in like the bottom corner, and then like the Steelers are like down by Raj's head down here. Like it's like egregiously low. How bad they are at offense.
What's
It's
that
insane.
supposed to mean?
Raj, we almost made it through the whole pod.
Bro, I'm putting a graph up here, dog, and then I'm pointing down here. It's not a short joke for once. If I was going to make a short joke, I'd just call you short, bro.
Which you are. That's all I have to say about that. I don't know how the Eagles Bucks ended up on Monday Night Football. Like I don't know what. No.
Okay.
This is so unprofessional.
Oh my God.
Our camera's all messed up now. I'm gonna step out of frame.
Okay, I'll start talking about Eagles Bucks. All right, so Eagles Bucks, that should not be a primetime game. That should have been a 1:00 game written all over it. This is going to be yet another stinker. It probably should just be. The Eagles should blow them out, but then again, it's Baker Mayfield. You never know. He could just do the meme. That's angled up too high, I think. Oh my God, this podcast is deteriorating so fast. Oh my Lord. Ay. All right. Yeah. What are there any other 4:00 games that we missed?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. I think we should probably just start to wrap this up. All right. So if you guys like this podcast, please like, share, subscribe for more amazing content that you've seen here. Dear God.